part two. Now, the awakening for me was a trip. It all started in 2020, man, as far as the awakening is concerned. But the energy, me feeling technology, man, that bitch started way back when I really sat back and thought about it. I caught my first respiratory infection was in 2006, y'all. 2006. Do you hear me? Back then, the doctor told me, yo, you might have to get on one of these asthma pumps. And I'm like, at 27, 28 years old, are you crazy, doc? No, give me something natural. That's when I found out about Father's John. And Father's John back then had a very high cough suppressant. It was 666. It started with a D word or some DI, something like that. That was a very high cough suppressant. Guess what Father's John have now since they were bought out? It's 10% now. I wish I could find, I've been looking for the old labels, and I'm going to find one. I'm going to find one. Fast forward to now, over the years, between 2006 all the way up until now, I was having problems from my left testicle, giving me pain every now and then. And then 2018, I was having shortness of breath to where it felt like my lungs was collapsing. But I think that was like a muscle spasm, a spasm in the lungs, which caused my lungs to temporarily kind of deflate or stretch out. I don't know. All I know is I could not fucking breathe. Not to mention the many, quite a few flu-like symptoms that I've caught where I had to, take off work for a couple of days or something just to get back better. Whooping cough for a month and a half. That was back in 2006. Just a range of things that have happened all the way up until now. But really in 2020, that's when shit hit the fucking fan. You hear me? Excuse my language. But everything hit the fan in 2020. It all started April the 5th. April the 5th is when I was riding from downtown. After I helped someone put up a bedroom set, I was riding from downtown and I started to feel kind of a little pressure behind the eyes. Now, I didn't know what was going on, but I definitely was looking out the window and I thought the sky looked kind of strange, but I didn't understand that they were doing stratospheric aerosol injections at the time. I didn't know that they were making clouds, but I didn't understand what that was. I was just like, yo, I just feel odd, So I get home, and when I get home, I'm like, man, let me make sure I'm not getting sick or anything. So what I go do is I go flame up. I was smoking then. So I go flame up a little bit. And next, I tasted all the chemicals out of the what I had rolled up. And I'm like, yo, I've never had this before. Then I had like a little electrical shock in the throat. It was weird. Just all these weird encounters started happening. It went from that to the next day I was having a slight headache. It went from having a slight headache to I'm going to take this Alka-Seltzer Cold Plus and let me see what happens. The next day after that, which would be on the 7th, I felt better. A couple of days went by. Maybe about a week went by. Went to the shop. We were on lockdown. Went to the shop. Twisted up a couple of heads. I had a mask on the whole time because I was telling them, listen, hey, this happened to me, right? On the 5th, 6th, 7th, this happened. Look, I don't know what's going on. I don't believe what they're telling us. I just do not fucking believe what they're telling us as far as the COV or the Rona V. I didn't believe in it, right? So, but I put on the mask just in case. Just in case, right? And the strange thing that happened to me on the way back home, was I started to get numb in my hands, arms, feet, and lower legs. And it started to kind of creep up. It was creeping up the arm, creeping. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Am I passing out behind the wheel? So in my head was like, do not panic. Don't panic, right? Do not panic, but just take a breather. So I took a deep breath. And when I exhaled, I couldn't feel myself exhaling. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? Because, look, I've been pissy drunk till I passed the fuck out. I don't even remember that shit. But this right here, I'm like, wait a minute. I am not feeling myself exhaling CO2. So I do it again. I'm like, I can feel that. I'm like, yo, I'm breathing out, but it's not registering to my brain. Now, at the same time I'm doing that, something back here feel like a pinch. And I'm like, what is that? Right? So I noticed when I was talking, I was able to exhale oxygen and it gave me a boost. So I kept singing, talking, saying something. At that time, though, I got into a slight panic and I started hitting the gas to get home. And man, that ride was one of the longest rides ever. So when I got home, I remember I stumbled out of the truck, stumbled up to the door, and I'm like, I do not have the energy to get up to the second floor. I said, I visualized myself crawling up the stairs, and I'm like, yo, I'm not finna do that shit. I said, let me just go ahead, since I got the walk on, I'm able to walk. I'm just gonna take a walk around the block a few times to see if that'll help me. And sure enough, it helped. It helped. I walked around about the block about 4 times and I regained, I felt 100%. And I'm like, yo, this is wild. Like, if you're sick, in my mind, it's like, if you're sick, you're sick. There's no, you're feeling bad. And then next, you're feeling good. Like, I'm like, yo, this is not adding up to me. So I finally get some strength. I go upstairs. I take my clothes off. I said, I'm going to go ahead and give me some rest. I lay down, and about 5 minutes later, it came back so vigorously. But at that time, I had the Wi-Fi in my room, the TV going, and I had both of my cell phones in the bed right next to me. I had no idea that these things were the trigger. They're the trigger. So that's when I said, fuck it. I'm going to the hospital. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't trust the hospitals. I never trust West Suburban. West Suburban, they're bad for our people. Okay, they're not a good hospital. So I called the ambulance. They came, and I already knew that my blood pressure was going to be okay. What I didn't know is that my oxygen was going to be okay. Blood pressure was 120/80, so I wasn't having high blood pressure or anything like that. And my oxygen was 100%. And they're looking at me like, are you having a panic attack? And I'm like, ma'am, I don't even know what a panic attack is, because I'm not panicking from anything. And I'm definitely not fearing what these people are talking about on the news or anything. I wasn't fearing this shit at all. So they said, well, we can take you in or we can just call it right here, because if we take you up there, they're not going to see you because your oxygen is at 100%. They say your oxygen will have to be low in order for them to come see you. And I said, yo, I'm not going back upstairs because y'all just don't understand the weird shit that just happened to me. So what happened is when I laid down, my stomach started doing jumping like this. It felt like an electrical charge went through my feet, went straight to my stomach, and my stomach after just jumping. I'm like, whoa! I jumped the fuck up out the bed. Just I've had a ton of weird encounters. So they went ahead and took me up there, and they were right. They didn't see me. They just asked a couple of questions or whatnot. Then they tried to charge me this fucking enormous bill later. And I'm like, you kissed my ass, you didn't do shit. I end up just walking home at that time. Because I just wanted to take a moment to myself. It was probably like less than a 2 mile walk. Walked home, and that was my journey of the walking phase. At that time, I started walking, and I mean walking for hours. I'm talking about 4 hour walks, just thinking, mind in the zone, meditating really. A lot of meditation, questioning what's going on, what's happening, why is this happening, what is this about? I need to know the truth. And that meditation set to everything that's happening right now. Everything that I've learned about technology. There's so much to learn about technology. Like I'm just scratching the surface. Like I only know what's affecting us. I'm not at the point of really understanding how to fully protect ourselves from, how to minimize the effect, I should say. That's what I want to actually dive in a little bit more. But my attention has gotten directed to the air quality. So, yeah.